Hi everyone, myself Rekha, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics. Today we are going to study about the introduction of statistics in the course Fundamental of Business Statistics for semester 1. So this course is for BBA, BBACA, BCom Finance and BCom PA. So what is mean by introduction of statistics? So for that, first of all, you have to know what is mean by statistics. So normally statistics is nothing but collection of data. So we are going to collect the data for some of information. So if you want to know the population of the current city, so etc., like that, we have to know the data. So if you collect the data and analyze the data and interpret, we can develop. So finally we will find the average for that, for average percentage for that value. So this is nothing but then statistics. So this is one of the technique, and it's applied in the all over India for some of the study, etc. For example, uh, if you want to know how many members are using the different types of paste or else soap powder, etc., we can collect the data and we can analyze and we can interpret. From that you can identify how many of them are using the same brand. So like that you can interpret the data. So this method of the analysis and interpretation of data is nothing but an statistics. So how will you collect the data? So there are two forms of collection. One is primary data and another one is secondary data. So the nature and scope of the inquiry and magnitude of financial resources, availability and accuracy desire and status of investigators. So based on that we can collect the data. So primary data is nothing but how we will collect the primary data. Normally if you want to collect the data means we can directly ask the person through the direct interview, or else we can indirectly through the oral interview or else phone call, etc. We can collect the information about that brand, etc., how many of them are using, or you can give a mail questionnaire schedules also you can through enumerators. So these are some of the methods which help us to collect the primary data. And also in the secondary data means the what is the source of secondary data means if you already collected data stored. For example, if you want to collect the, if you want to uh, analyze the find the students data, it is already stored. So otherwise statistical abstract of Indian Union or monthly statistical digest, international rapid bulletin, so like that the secondary data is already stored, and either maybe at a published form or it will be an unpublished source. So if you, some data are not able to published. So for example, if they enter into the college, we will use to collect the data, but it is not published. So whenever it is necessary, we use the data. So like that. So some of them is published data. For example, international organizations such as UNO and Monetary Fund, International Corporation, Education, UNESCO. So these types of data are official publications. So for that they will use the data. So how will you distinguish between the primary and secondary data? Means primary data are those it is collected for the first time, and whereas the secondary data is already been collected, so that can be used for the further reference. So primary data are form of raw materials and the statistics is applied, whereas the secondary data is already statistical applied only. And primary data is nothing but directly you can inquiry through the people, and the secondary data are collected from the published already. If there something is published mean we can collect from that and we can store the data. And data are primary to an institution collected it and the secondaries of other. Thus the data are primary in the hands of one and the secondary data in the hands of other. So these are the forms of collection of secondary data and primary data. So using the after the collection of data, we have to classify the data and we have tabulate, and finally we will analyze the data according to that. So in order to know the how the percentage should be calculated by various measures, like measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion. So using the some of the technique, we can identify the analysis data. So what are the content we have seen? What is mean the statistics and how will you collect the data, and what are the collection, etc. We have covered. Thank you.